So some of you may have seen my story of transformation video when I attended my first event in Cancun in June of 2022. And I wanted to kind of give an update to that because I just got back from Cancun in December 2022, and I had some significant healing that occurred there. Now, one of the big things that was significant about attending this event was it was my first event to attend on my own. So if you don't know my backstory, I'll give you just a little bit. My husband introduced me to Dr. Joe, and I wasn't really into it, and he kind of brought me to the first event in Cancun, and I had tremendous healing. I was kind of unsure about this whole healing thing, and I had such tremendous healing, and when I heard this Cancun event was coming up again in December, I knew I just had to go. Now, this would have been my 5th event to attend. My husband and I have attended all the events together, and going to this one was kind of a big deal for me. I've been a stay-at-home mom. I've got 5 kids, and it was kind of a big deal for me because I'm always at home with the kids. I homeschool them, so it's like I never really get out on my own. And so this was a big, big deal for me to kind of go on my own. It was a big deal for him because it was really hard. After he had agreed to it, he was kind of like, what did I agree to, letting her go on her own? But, part of the transformation in ourselves is, especially when we're married, it's like in order to make the marriage work really well together, you kind of have to fix yourself. And when you go to these events, you got some crap kind of coming up and you might kind of butt heads on things or whatever. And I've run into people at events where it's like the husband and wife go in different colors and stuff. But anyway, he's going to attend the next event by himself. This was by myself. So basically, let me kind of just tell you my whole story of the event. It was amazing, amazing, amazing experience there. So it starts off, I say bye at the airport and sitting in the waiting for the plane, and I kind of get in this knot in my stomach. My second center. That's a center that I am struggling with. I haven't been able to feel it. I know that's related to a lot of the issues I have going on my body. And kind of going back a week before that, I have never ever injured my back before. And for some reason, I bent over to get my kid and I popped my back, and it was like equal with where my second center was. And it was weird. After I popped it, I kind of felt this warming sensation around my second center. That's significant because the whole event was kind of circling around my second center. So anyway, and I'm on the plane and I got this knot, and I get to the hotel, I got this knot, and I'm thinking, okay, it's just this fear, this worry, being on my own. It's like, I don't know why I was so worried and scared. I've been on my own. Like when I went to college and stuff, I went on my own and I wasn't scared. I flew places and different things like that. But when I was going through the process of all this, I realized that I really had depended on my husband a lot for, going everywhere, checking out hotels and different things. And this was just me on my own for like a whole week. Now, I felt comfortable going just because I'd been to events before, and you kind of feel like you're around family there, and I knew I was taken care of, but there was just something inside of me that was really hurting. And so we get into one of the meditations like the first day, and during the meditation, I see this fetus pop up, and I kind of feel this empty feeling inside of me. And then at the end of the meditation, he says, remember like what happened during the meditation. And so I kind of remembered the whole fetus thing, and I realized this was the moment that I had come down to earth. And I guess my spirit came down, and I felt that feeling. I felt the feeling again, and I felt so lonely inside. And I was like, why am I feeling this way? I should feel great love being in my mom's stomach and everything. And I came out of that meditation just feeling really down. There's only been a couple times that I've kind of felt that way after meditation, and I was like, man, usually I feel good. So I felt down. It was really kind of bringing me down. And then I told my husband about it that night, and I was telling him how I remembered how when my mom was pregnant with me, she had moved away from Chicago to California, away from her family. She was so lonely. She was just miserable. She hated it there. And it triggered, and I was like, oh, that's right. That's probably why I felt lonely. She was feeling loneliness, and I felt this loneliness inside. And then right after that, my husband's like, are you kidding me? He's like, your mom just today told me that story about how she lived in California and she was miserable and lonely. And it was so weird because it was like she had thought that story, and then it somehow came to me and in the meditation. But after that, I had realized that I kind of struggled with loneliness my whole life. I think I've always been scared of being alone. I kind of suffered depression as a teen. I was scared to go into high school and scared of like losing my friends and things. I was scared to go to college. I even had to get antidepressants and stuff. Like even just being married, it's like I was scared of losing my husband. Or, I don't know. There's just, I always kind of struggled with that. And I didn't really realize that until that moment. And so the next day, we're doing one of the meditations, and that second center is just, it's just hurting me. Something is like, it's like stabbing pain, and I'm starting to get really dizzy in that meditation. And he was doing the centers, and I was like, I got to get through this. I got to get through this. And I have never, ever stopped a meditation, and I walked out of that meditation. I just couldn't continue. Something inside me, I was like, I can't continue this. I can't continue it. And so I walked out, and one of the ladies was saying, oh, do you want to talk to the psychologist? I was like, no, I'm fine. I just need to kind of walk around. I was dizzy, whatever. And fine, she just insisted. So the psychologist came out and talked to me. I didn't realize they even had psychologists at the events. But talked to her for a while, and I guess I really needed it. And I started talking about all this stuff. And then I brought up the thing about the fetus, and she says, oh, loneliness, that's in your second center. And so it really kind of helped me. And then I don't remember at what point, but then I noticed that after, I don't know, a couple of meditations or something, I was like, wow, this is gone. The second center, like it was just this relief and was gone, and the loneliness feeling was better, because I was almost, my husband had even said, I can come there if you need me to, and I was kind of like, maybe I should. But then I kind of got to this point where I was like, something had changed inside of me, and I was like, I don't need this. He doesn't need to come. I can do this. Something had released. And going through the week, if you heard my story too the first time around, a lot of my health issues really started when I took birth control pills to try to treat some other health issue that I had. And those birth control pills really made my, sorry about my voice, I'm struggling with my fifth center after the event, so I'm sorry if it's kind of raspy. Anyway, the birth control pills really screwed up a lot of my health, and I started getting my irritable bowel, and I lost my gallbladder, and biggest thing that happened is my hormones got way off balance. And the significance too of that is when we went on our honeymoon, it was right next to where they have the event in Cancun. It got just wiped out by a hurricane, and that's where my big transformation happened, is I saw where I was crying the last night of my honeymoon. Think about it, okay, I've got hormone issues, and I can't, it's on my honeymoon, okay? I don't want to give too many details, but just kind of use your imagination a little bit. I let go of that girl a long time ago at the first event in Cancun. And so this time in Cancun, it was kind of like the second center was being released. And I think some of that, the hormonal stuff that was going on, kind of got released. And I started feeling different. I don't want to upset my husband. I told him this, though. It was kind of like I started looking at guys. I was like, whoa, not in a way like, oh, I want to, not to get into many details, but it was just kind of like I noticed guys, and I was like, I got to the point to where I was like, I felt like a kid, because I didn't even like have any desire to be with men or anything like that. But anyway, I started kind of feeling a little bit of that coming back, and I was like, wow, this is cool. This is kind of coming back, and I'm excited. So that was something that kind of came back, and it's continuing, and I'm really, really excited about that. Oh, I know. I bet you I know when that came back. So we did walking meditation number 6, and that was my big transformational one in my first event in Cancun. And same thing, I saw that little hut there on the beach where I cried and my honeymoon. And I said I wanted to be better than that girl, and better than the girl that healed on the beach. And this is really hard to understand what happened. So I'm doing the walking meditation, and I'm in the middle walking, just walking along, kind of smiling, looking, whatever, no big deal, whatever. And next thing I know, I didn't see it, but I sensed something fly up out of the sky towards me, like it was shooting down, and it just went, I don't know, it felt like I don't know if it went in my head or hit my face, but my whole body just went like that, and I just flew back onto the sand. Thankfully, I'm on the sand and not on concrete. And I just fell down to the ground like I had been struck by lightning or a wrecking ball or something. It was just crazy. And I just was looking up in the sky, and there was I don't know if it was like a orb or some kind of faint circle kind of up there in the sky, because I saw my eyes open, and I just started laughing, and I don't know what it was that hit me, but obviously it was something good because it made me laugh. And then, you know, eventually I had to have my eyes closed, and I don't remember a whole lot else. I think I might have twitched around on the sand or something, and I just remember kind of getting up and kind of wobbly and shaky, and one of the helpers was asking me, you know, have you come back to your body yet? And I was like, yeah, I think like 90% or whatever. And so, you know, I felt great after that, and I think that walking meditation helped do something. I don't know what. So then there was another one, another big moment whenever we did the healing. So, you know, at my first event, I was healed probably like 60, 70%. And since every event you know, he kind of talks about, oh, people can get healed just being a healer. And so I kind of like, at the past events, I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I could get healed. And I kind of have this intention in my mind. I'm like, okay, maybe I can get healed. But he's kind of like, he's told you that you kind of set an intention, you let it go. And I think in the past, I set the intention, I didn't let it go. I was like, oh, when's it going to happen? Is it going to happen? You know? And so the first healing that we do the healer's walk, and I had set the intention that I wanted to get some of that healing energy, but I didn't want to let it get in the way of the person that I'm healing. And I did literally just let it go. I didn't think about it at all until, I guess, after the healing was over. And so I'm excited because my big moment was caught on camera at my first event, and then right here you can see this was me doing the healer's walk, and that was right before big moment. So we go in there, and you know, we have our hands on our hearts, and I believe the energy was so intense. The man that was sitting next to me, I could just feel his energy was so intense, and I got into the blackness right away. But when I got into the blackness, it was like everything turned light, and then it was so intense. I can't even describe how intense it was. I was just so much energy was like going around me. I can't even describe it. And then I think he said something about 8. I don't even know if he did, but it's like as soon as he said that, my arm shot straight up in the air, which was really bizarre. You know, sometimes I'll kind of shake and whatever, but my arm just shot straight up in the air. And next thing I know, I feel something come down right into my body. And then like my hands are up, and then I could feel like getting jerked out of me. And I whipped back in my chair. Excuse me. I whipped back in my chair, and then I hit the man next to me, and I was like real weak and stuff, ready to fall out of my chair. I was like, good grief, what the heck was that? And, you know, and then it was like, okay, wow, whatever that was. And then I kind of got back into doing did the healing, still really intense energy, and then it was over. I knew something had happened. I didn't know what. And very similar to what happened to me at my first event, after my great healing, I had a lot of purging going on because I suffer with a lot of bowel issues and stuff. And so I had a lot of purging going on. I don't normally do that. I get personal. I'm normally constipated. And it was like the opposite of that. And I was like, whoa. I was mad because it was the morning of the pineal gland meditation. And I woke up at 3 a.m. and purging like crazy. And I'm like, oh, crap. And I was trying to like take stuff, and I'm like, come on, I got to make it to the pineal gland meditation, and I just couldn't. I couldn't, because it got to be 4 o'clock, and I'm like, I can't do it. This sucks. But I was so proud of myself because what I did is I just took the 1.5-hour pineal gland meditation that Dr. Joe has, and I just put it on repeat and played it like 3 times and tried to tune into the energy of the arena so I could kind of do it with them. I know it wasn't the same, but I was proud of myself. I could have just gone right back to sleep, whatever, but I did it. And that whole day, I was really like, ooh, you know, just I could tell something was getting processed in my body. I was real weak and kind of struggled through that day. But then the next day, I guess that would have been the last day, was a really incredible day. That was when he does the body electric. And I felt that I was so energized that day, so much energy going through me. And I had so much energy. And then once again, the next morning, I woke up and it was the day for me to leave, and I had more purging going on, and I was dizzy and weak, and I tried to do a walking meditation on the beach with a bunch of other people, and I was just so weak, I couldn't do it, and I made it home, it was a struggle. I was going to try to delay my flight because I just didn't think I could make it, but I did it, and I got home, and then all week I've got, after effects of my upgrades, I guess you could say, just really, really weak. My husband's had to like carry me to bed a couple of nights, and then I lost my voice. I guess something was going on with my fifth center. To go back to the second center though, that last night that I was there, I woke up in the middle of the night and there was like all this pressure in my second center. I thought I was done with my second center, but all this pressure came back in my second center. I guess when I was purging that other previous night, but there was this pressure in my second center. It was like heat and pressure. And in the middle of the night, I'm like twitching in bed and spazzing out, and my eyes are rolling in my head. I was like, it woke me up at like 1 a.m. and it lasted for almost 3 hours. And it was like, good grief, what is going on with me? And then, like I said, the next morning I had some sharp pain there, and then I had some purging and stuff going on. And like I said, I now when I do the Blessing of the Energy Centers, I can actually feel my second center, so I know stuff has been released. I feel a lot better. I mean, I can't even describe, like, just everything. My whole outlook on life and everything is so much better. Going to this event, I try to set an intention, I guess you could say, and just to be whole and happy in my heart. I've been focusing so much on trying to get my last little bit of healing. I was just like, I just want to focus on being whole and happy in my heart. And there was he only had time for one testimony, and that was on Sunday. And the lady, I guess you could say, she kind of sounded a little bit like me. She's got like a lot of little issues and stuff, and she just she eventually just kind of healed over time and didn't even realize she had healed, and just felt really happy and whole and everything. And I was kind of like, wow, that's kind of what I want. And at the very end of that, Dr. Joe said something like she just got a little bit better every day, or something like she got to upgrade a little bit every day. And that really stuck with me, because here I've been going in my meditations. Like, there was a point where I had like a mystical experience after mystical experience, and I was just like, whoa. And lately I haven't been having those. And so I've been going into meditations like, okay, I'm going to have a mystical experience, and it doesn't happen. It's like Dr. Joe's like, okay, where is it? And same thing, I'll go into it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get healed on this one, And then I'm like, okay, where is it? Come on, where is it? And I've been anticipating healing or mystical experiences or something cool to happen in my meditations. And I need to stop doing that. And I realized that throughout the week that I'm like, I'm just doing these to just feel good and to, I don't know, just to feel good about myself, go into the unknown and connect and whatever. And so after hearing that really helped me motivate. And I was like, that's all I need to do, is I just need to focus on feeling better about myself. And I already do. I was like, I feel so much better about myself. And I'm just happier. I'm smiling. And my husband's like, wow, I've got like a totally different wife. What happened to you? And, going back to that little bit every day, he has, if you've ever been to one of his events, he has guys stand up on stage and he hugs them, and he says that's source. And then we kind of get further and further, like if this is source, it's like we get further and further away from source, because we want to see what's here in the material world. And we almost like forget about source. And then we kind of start connecting, like we do the meditations or whatever we have to do, get more spiritual. We start connecting more and more with source. And sometimes during our meditations, we can connect with source, and then we come back to the real world. And what he said is that when we come back, we take a little piece of that with us. And so that really stuck with me too, is that every time I go and I connect with source, even if I don't get like right to that point where I'm like right there with source, at least I'm getting closer. I take a little bit of that back with me. And that's what keeps me going, keeps me doing my meditations, is going back to source. And just like, I love that feeling when I get there. I love that opening of the heart and everything. And so it's just like, that keeps me going every day. And you don't want to forget that, and I have been doing my meditations every day, but there was points where I was just like, why am I doing this? It did start becoming routine. But now I've gotten home and I'm challenging myself to do Blessing and Energy Center every day for like a month and see what happens with that. I'm like excited to do them now, and it's not like, okay, it's a chore and I've got to try to heal myself and better myself. And I had healing, when's that coming? And it's kind of stopped being that. It's just like I want to just be more me and more whole and happy and get that connection there with source. As for what's healed, it's hard to really say. I just know I feel incredible. And, you know, my digestive issues really kind of went away after the first event. I've had a few little lingering things, but it almost seems like it's even better since then. Since I've gotten back from Cancun, it's even better. I just went to my doctor today. He's a big Dr. Joe follower. I love him. And he's been doing blood tests with us after every event to kind of see. And my autoimmune markers had completely gone away, and then they started creeping back up. So I'm anxious to see if that's gone back down. And he actually did a telomere test, and I'm excited to do that. My husband and I are doing that, and we're gonna probably do a video on that, so share our telomere results, because I know he's big on all that kind of stuff. So I'm anxious to see kind of what happened there. But, you know, I really don't need the test results to tell me that I'm feeling a lot better, but it is kind of good, you know, to have the science side of it to see, okay, this is what's changed. That week, though, it was an incredible week. I made some incredible friends. I have not had an opportunity to really do that in a long time, and it felt wonderful. What's interesting, though, is my husband was struggling a lot with it. Like, having me go, like, the week before the event, I could tell he was really, really struggling. I mean, him alone with 5 kids, yeah, but I think it was just the letting go of me and the worry and everything behind that he had of me going by myself and losing me or whatever could happen. He just had all these fears and stuff inside of him. And it's interesting because there's times at the event where, like, he could sense, like, something going on, and he, like, way across the world, he's sensing something while I'm going through things there. And so it was kind of interesting. And after we got back, he was transformed himself, because he was realizing a bunch of stuff that he was holding on to that he needed to just let go of. He just, like, I guess you could say, it kind of had a hold on me, and, like, scared of all this stuff. And then he just had to let it go. There was nothing he could do about it. And he you know, and for me, I guess I felt kind of some of this release too, almost. So it was a big learning lesson for us. You know, he's gone on trips by himself in business or whatever, or golfing trip with a friend or something. And so this was a big deal for me to go do. It was not only for me, but like I said, also for him. So it was a huge learning experience. And wow. And people ask me if this was my best event, and it's hard for me to say. I mean, my first event was incredible with all the healing I did and the realization of all that exists outside of our 3D world here, and everything that's been opened up. I would almost say they're equal. I don't know. Maybe the first one's better. I really don't know. But I love Cancun, and he talks about that beach being like holy ground or sacred ground, and I really do think there's something about the energy there in Cancun that's just amazing. And I'm ready to go back to Cancun. I'm ready to go back to any of the events. I just love the energy at these events, and just, I don't know. I really love these events, and I love the healing and the transformation that I get. And I think the one thing I struggle with, though, is that I'm depending on the events to get the healing. And I guess I was talking about this with a friend, and about being an empath, I think that's how you say it, where you kind of absorb energy of other people. And I think that's why I do so well at these events. I do well at home by myself, but it's almost like I love that energy coming from the other people. And I'm like, okay, I just need to go to that next event to heal myself. But I don't need that. I can do this on my own, but I keep in the back of my mind and battling with, I got to go to an event to heal myself. Where that is where a lot of people get healed, because there is so much more energy. But I think it's also just the motivation and the love and strength of everybody else around you that helps you be stronger and believe. And I need to have that with me all the time, to where I can get all that at home. And who knows, maybe I am all the way healed. I don't know. I guess time will tell, but because I do feel incredible, and I know I had great healing going on. The one thing I know that I'm working on the most, well, I don't know if I'd say the most, but is my gallbladder. I want to grow that back, and I'm convinced I'm going to grow it back. And I don't feel I have it back yet, because there's a few little signs that I'm like, okay, I don't think I have it back yet. But that's going to be my goal. I guess I need to start manifesting that, or I don't know, maybe it'll just come back when I'm completely healed. I don't know. But that's the thing I'm going to work on next, and I'm going to share that with you eventually when that happens, because I know it's going to happen, and my doctor knows it's going to happen too. He's excited about that. So my husband said he might do a video to share his experience and his struggles of having me go on my own, and so I appreciate everybody's love and support, and all of you that I've met at these events. You guys are incredible. I've made some wonderful friends. I've met some great people, and how some of you have said that I've helped you. And I want to just continue to help you guys. That's the reason I continue to do this. I started this just by wanting to share my transformation with you guys, but I didn't realize how much I would help so many people. So I just continue to do this because I just want to help everybody else, because I know that it's this community. I love this community so much. Everybody's so supportive of one another, and I love each and every one of you, those that I've met, those that I haven't met, those of you watching, and those that I've never connected with. I have connected with you because we're all connected, and I love all of you guys very much.